I lost my daughter Tia 3 years ago on July 11th, 2016. Um, her addiction started in her senior year of high school. Um, I didn't find out exactly what started it until right before she passed. I just know it started then. Uh, She told me right before she passed that it started from depression over a breakup, that a friend of hers offered her some Adderall to get her over that. And she didn't want to take it at first. She said, "No, I'm good." And her friend said, "No, go ahead and just try it." And after enough persistence, she went ahead and took it. And that then led to a continued use, and then an increased use, and then other medications after that. I then noticed a change in her behavior, and then that led to her leaving my home, and then that led to a boyfriend who provided her with plenty of medications because his mother worked at a pharmacist. That boyfriend then abused her, and then she left that relationship and got into another relationship with a young man whose parents were drug dealers. And that young man was brought into drug dealing himself at the age of 8. His parents had put him on the street because he would be able to deal himself because the cops wouldn't suspect a child. And I learned his story through her and him. And I felt so bad because this is the only life he knew. And when he came into my life through her, and I had compassion for him, he thanked me for showing compassion to him and becoming a parent to him that he never had. And I then tried to reach out to him and them, the both of them, and show them a future that they could have if they got away from the drugs. It led to a few years of them trying to better their lives and get away from it. And the influence of his parents kept coming back and kept dragging them back into it. And it led to a few incarcerations. And at one point, he was clean because she was in jail, and he said that he was going to wait till she got out of jail because she was clean, he was clean. And as soon as she got out of jail, they were going to move to another state and they were going to start over. And I found out that his dad had come to stay with him while she was in jail. And I said, "Don't do that. That is not going to be good for you." And I took him to visit her that night. And the next day, he overdosed and died. And I had to tell my daughter while she was in jail that he had died. And there's nothing, I thought, more painful than watching your child fall apart behind glass and not being able to touch them, not being able to hold them. And I then had to proceed to compel the court to let her out early to be there for his funeral, and they did. And I compelled her to stay clean because this is what he would want. This is what would help show him that you can do it, that you can live a life that would be rise above everything that you guys have done and do what he said you guys would do once you're out. And it lasted 2 weeks, and she was right back into heroin. And 3 years later, she was still using, and then all of a sudden she had accidentally detoxed. And through the detox, she said, "This is the only time I've been truly clean since this thing started, since I've been on drugs." And up till that point, she was never willing to get clean, never willing to do rehab, never willing to even try any sobriety ever. And she said, "Since I'm here, I might as well give this a shot." So she detoxed and tried sobriety and was doing really good until she relapsed one time and was gone. That is the scary part about sobriety and relapse, is that it just takes the one time. You know, I raised my children in church. Her father and I have degrees. You think that it can't happen to you. It can happen, like the officer said, to anyone. You know, I remember at the funeral, people coming up to me and saying that she had witnessed to them. Even during her addiction, she had witnessed to them about Jesus. And I was just blown away by that. It just touched me so much that she never lost sight of God. And I remember through this 3 years that I've been dealing with my grief, and I sank into it. At some point, God said, "Okay, we've got to do something with this. We got to reach out and give back." And that's when I got involved with FAN. And that's when I joined a prison and jail ministry at a local church. And that's when I joined the Hope Not Handcuffs program, because God said, "I've got her. She's with me. She's good. What can we do so that more people don't join you in this club? What can we do to help others?" That's what we're all doing here, because we want to give back. We want to help others. And this is what we can do with what we have left, so that others don't join our club, so that we can help others in this world, and the addicts that are out there, so that they can find hope and get recovery, and help educate those that haven't started yet. That's all I have. Thank you.